Hello there everyone and welcome to a new review on the channel. And today we're going to be looking at a very old product but one that is still so very good, and that is Movie Night by J.Gadd and S.Bowring. This is a fantastic little movie effect that I think went under the radar because there's so many movie effects coming out that I think a lot of people skipped over this. And it's a bit of a shame because it is so good, and I really wish a lot of you would know more about it, so that's why I'm making this review. And as I said in my last video, this was a hit at my latest gig, so I think it speaks for itself of how good this is if done correctly and used correctly. So enough said about that, let's roll the intro and get straight into it. Perfect, so you decided to stick around, which means you want to learn more about Movie Night. So what is essentially this effect? This is a multitude of effects that you can do with what is supplied to you. We're going to talk about that in a moment. But the main effect here is that you'll be able to have the spectator plan himself a movie date, and you'll be able to reveal all the details of that movie date. So just to show you how this goes, I'll do a small performance. You remove here these cards and you tell them if they know what top trumps is, because these are top trump cards. They say yes or no. You either tell them what they are and you say, look, this is the movie edition. So that's what we're going to be working here. And as you can see, there's a ton of different movies here. Some are very well known, some not so much. But essentially what I want you to do is they can even cut them if they want. That really doesn't matter. And then they just cut anywhere that they want. They take a look at the top card, not both of them. So you're going to take a look at that. So please remember it. I'll also have you look at the runtime of the movie, because we're going to do that. We're going to use that in performance. And I also want you to look at the total amount that it made at the box office, because we're also going to use that. Normally, of course, if you're in performance, they would have hold of the card and you wouldn't have to do that. But just for you, for the camera, so I hope you have it remembered. But now you would essentially tell them that you want to plan a movie date. So first thing that you have to do is you have to plan at what time you're going to see the movie. So the way that we're going to do that is I want you to take the runtime of your movie and transcribe it to a clock. So kind of transcribe it if it was a time of the day. So if it's, for example, something like 49 or 48, put it to the nearest one like 50. Same if it's like 51, 52, put it to the nearest zero number like, 50, right? So just make it rounded up to a time, because movies don't never start at, for example, 7:01, right? They start at 7 or 7:10 or 7:20, 7:30. So just make that with the time, with the runtime of the movie, transcribe it to an hour of the clock. Can you do that? Excellent. So that's the time that you're going to see the movie. Now, I also want you to tell me, if you go in a movie theater, do you usually stay in the front, so in like the A, B, C, or D seats? Or do you usually stay in the middle, which is like the E, F, G, H seats? Or do you stay kind of on the top, which is like the L, M, N, O, P seats? So which ones would you usually stay in? You'd stay in the middle. Excellent. So what I want you to imagine is think of any letter. It doesn't matter what the letter is, but I want you to think of your seat number. So to do that, I want you to add all the digits of the box office total that the movie made. So for example, if it made 1,023, at the box office, add 1 plus 2 plus 3. Can you do that for me? So I'll re-show you that in case you forgot of your movie. So that's that. And I'll be like, okay, log that in mind. Perfect. And now lastly is the movie. The movie that you've chosen is the one that's on the card. Have you seen it? You kind of play with them on that. And then you'll be able to reveal directly that they're going to the movie in the afternoon. They're going at 2:30. They're going to sit on seat number 18. And if they have a date with them, the date would be sitting on seat 17. And then you reveal that the movie they were thinking of and the movie that they were going to see in cinema is not a child's movie by no means. It's something that also won an Oscar, I think, and it was groundbreaking in its release. It's Hannibal, is that the movie that they were thinking of? And of course it is Hannibal. And everything else can be inspected. There's nothing to see. And that is the main performance of Movie Nights. You can do much more with it. I'll talk to you in a moment about all of those differences. But first, let's get into where you buy this, how much does it cost, and what do you get. So you can buy this directly from ALAKAZAM Magic. I believe it is the only place where this is available. it is going to set you back 30 pounds, which is I think 35 USD, which is around 45 Canadian dollars. And what you get with your money is this. You're going to get this little box. Inside of this box, you are going to get your cards. On top of these cards, you are also going to be getting something that's fantastic for them to include. You're going to be getting Killer Elite by Andy Nyman with your purchase. So you're going to be getting Killer Elite with this purchase. Of course, you're not going to get the fancy wallet, etc., but you're going to get all the cards used in Killer Elite, and you'll be able to do Killer Elite with these cards as well. If you want to do a kicker ending at the end, fantastic. You're going to get this Convincer card, which is kind of the certification card for the top trumps, and you're also going to get a few extra gimmicks as well. You're going to get a double backer, you're going to get a dinosaur card, an Egypt card, which you can do some extra routines with as well. So you don't only have this main routine, you can do a ton of other stuff with what you're getting in this pack of cards. But most importantly, you're going to get these cards, which are the movie cards. And as you can see, they look very well. They handle spectacularly. Everything is so well done. They are not marked. So these are not marked in any way, shape, or form. So don't think that you're just going to be reading a mark to do the routine. That's not what's going on. They handle specifically well. They are specifically, I'll say this without spoiling too much, they're specifically cut, which is going to let you, depending on who your audience member is, have them think of an adult movie or a children's movie. So you can do this both for adults or kids. I only usually perform for adults, so because of that, I only do the adult one. But there's also a way for you to do only with kids movies. So for example, if I were to have them cut here and place it to their chest, I know already for a fact that they're thinking of a kids movie, and you can confirm that is a kids movie. Of course, it's Kung Fu Panda kids movie, and I could reveal the information based on Kung Fu Panda for the kid, or whatever movie befalls on the spectator, and you'll be able to reveal. So that is very nice. These cards are specially cut, specially printed, specially made to do all of this for you. And yes, there's a bit of work on your part that you have to do. But again, we'll talk about that in a second, because you also get with these cards a brilliant tutorial that goes over all of the routines that you can do with these cards, how to learn what you need to learn in order to perform this effect, and the main routines and the tutorials for everything in typical ALAKAZAM fashion. Everything is super well explained. Afterward, let's talk, now that we know what this is, where you buy it, how much does it cost, and what you get. Let's talk about difficulty. So how difficult is this to perform? This is not that difficult to perform. We're going to be talking about the main routine. The extra routines are bare bones in simplicity, but if you want to buy this, you're not going to buy this to get a kind of knockoff variation of Killer Elite or one of these small effects that uses dinosaurs, right? You're not buying this for that. You're buying this for the main routine that you just saw. So we're going to be discussing that moving forward. So the main routine is very simple to do. There's no moves. As you saw, the spectator does everything. They can cut the cards. As long as they don't shuffle the cards like this, you're good to go. But the only thing is, you will need a bit of memory work. Now, if you know movies, you won't necessarily need any memory work. If you're not a movie buff, you will maybe need a bit of memory work. And when I say that, there's maybe one or two more obscure movies here. If you're someone that just performs to adults, you're basically halving the memory work that you have to do, because the adult movies are much easier to remember and they're much more direct. That's not to say that the kids ones aren't, but they're just much easier to do. And also, if you want a tip, for example, you can have these, because I know this this arrangement of cards, if you want, by heart. So to me, I don't even know it by heart, but I mean that no matter where they cut, I'll immediately know the next movie. But I know it, and I don't care if they cut the cards. But when I started out with the deck, if you keep it in your normal orientation and you ask a spectator to cut, they will always cut in the middle, which means that 90% of the time, they will cut to one of two movies. So it makes it even easier for you if you want to do it like that. But personally, it's a good way to start practicing the routine and getting comfortable with it. And after that, you can start mixing the cards and have them cut wherever they want, etc. So overall, it's very, very easy to learn and to perform if you're familiar with movies, because as I said, these are not marked. So you're not going to go on the back of the cards and you're going to be able to like peek at a mark or look at a mark to know what the card is. That's not what this is offering. You'll have to remember based on the movies what you essentially need to know. So that is the difficulty of this. Super, super easy. You'll be able to get it down pretty quickly, in my opinion. In terms of practicality, it is very pack small, as you can see. If you do this in the box, boom, you're ready to go. Even if you want to do all of the routines actually fit in the box. So you can have like a 10-minute show with this, fit just in your pocket if you so want. Because you can also have two spectator things. You can have them cut. One of them thinks of the movie that they cut to their chest, and the other thinks of the movie that was cut to. So you can actually have two spectator thinks of things. And what's nice about it is that the information that you reveal is not going to be the same. It's going to be completely different to both spectators, which is fun as well. So that is an option for you as well to do if you so wish. So keep that in mind, okay? So in terms of practicality, very pack small. In terms of repeatability, as I said, you can repeat it, but if you do it once with an adult movie, you'll have to do it again with a kid's movie to get a different result, because if not, the results are going to overlap, so you don't want that. So it is repeatable one more time if you want. If not, again, repeatability, you can do another routine. You can say, you know what, let's try something else with these cards. I have here these famous people and killers from movies, and you do the Killer Elite variation. So you can do that to move into something else. But repeatability can be repeated once if you so wish. Second of all, let's talk about inspectability. The cards can be inspected. I mean, if someone is very familiar with how cards handle, maybe they're going to see that some of them are cut specifically, but even that, it's not really going to give them a lot of information about how this works. In my opinion, even if they were to look at some of the cards, they won't necessarily see much. Maybe if they inspect them a bit longer and they compare them, they will maybe see some similarities start to pop up. But usually that shouldn't happen. In terms of needing a table, this does not need a table. I didn't perform this with a table whatsoever when I did it on my last gig and on my other gigs beforehand. So it doesn't need a table. The reset is instant. You just have them put their card back and you're instantly reset to go to the next group as well. Then let's talk about where do you perform. So where do you perform this effect? Anywhere in close-up, mix and mingle, table hopping, restaurant work, casual performances, this can be done. You can even do this if you want on stage or parlor, because you're just not having them just think of a poster of a movie or a movie. You're having them imagine a full day at the movies. You're having them imagine so many different things, and you can even push it forward. You know, you can have them think of the snacks they're going to eat, and people are mostly going to say popcorn, right? So you can play it even more and more and push the amount of information, because once you know the movie, you can also have them look, we're also going to try something else. Think of the first letter of your movie. Think of the first snack that comes into mind with that, and you can play around, or the first drink that comes into mind, or the first meal that you would get. So you can play so much with these informations and what you're getting from these cards that you can easily do it in parlor or stage as well. So yeah. So now that I've said all of that about movie nights, what are the positives and negatives of this routine? First of all, let's get into the negatives. One of the negatives is that if you only perform for adults, you cannot repeat the effect twice to the same group. You can do it twice to the same group, but for the second spectator, you just revealed the movie. You wouldn't be able to reveal the rest of the information as well, because it will repeat. But as I said, you can move into a kid's movie, and that can negate the effect, or move into one of the other routines that it provided to you as well. That is an option as well. The second negative, which is not a negative for me, but could be for you, is that there is no markings here. So you will not have a fallback. If you ever forget a movie or your memory has a big lapse, you're going to be in a bit of a pickle. So you're going to have to deal with that by yourself, because you will not have the backup of having a marking system to help you out with remembering what you forgot. Okay? And thirdly is that there are some movies that are thrown in to kind of move away from the method. So for example, there's certain movies that have a very long name, and only like the third part of the name of the movie is the one that is cueing you to the next card. So for some people, if you're, stressed, or it's your first time performing and you get a movie like Galaxy Quest, you'll probably not think of Galaxy Quest as your marker being the Q, but the marker being the G, and it's going to make you mess up your routine completely. So because of that, it does make the routine much cleaner and more examinable, but you do have to be careful on the fact that if you're not so familiar with the deck, it could mess you up towards the start. But apart from that, what are the positives? One, extremely well produced, a ton of routining. The routine is very modular. You can play it as big or as little as you want. Easy to do, easy to remember, practical to perform, can be done in a ton of scenarios. It's engaging, it's fun, it's different to a lot of other movie type routines because yes, you have a movie, but you're making it a date, you're making it a time, you're making it a seat number. You can play with food, you can play with snacks that they get. You can also have some imagery. The way that I was doing it is I say, I'm not feeling that there's many people here and I'm feeling a lot of noise. I'm feeling a lot of kids running around. Does that make sense? And if you go to the movies in the afternoon, that's when the kids go and they're running everywhere because they usually don't go at night. So the person was like, oh my God, yeah, that's exactly what was in my head. So you can play this so much bigger than it actually is, and you have a ton of extra routines as well included with this. And like I said, Killer Elite is included in this. So if you don't own it, you basically get a Killer Elite variation that costs like $50 included in your pack over here. So that's all I have to say about movie nights. I think it's fantastic. I heavily recommend it. I think it's one of the best movie poster routines, or in this big trend of movie effects. I think it is one of the best ones on the market. I'm giving Movie Nights by J.Gadd a 9.5 on 10. I think it is absolutely phenomenal, and I heavily recommend it. So if you have any additional questions, leave them down below. If not, I'll see you on my next review. Have a good one, and bye-bye.